Season 2 began with the departure of Virgil van Dijk and the arrival of three £140 million replacements, and a thunderbolt debut goal from one of those new signings helped us to an unbeaten start to our Premier League campaign. And what a new signing he is proving to be. Victor Boniface joining the club for £60 million and getting 2 goals in his first 2 Premier League appearances and getting an assist to boot, a 9.15 rating. What a start for the 24-year-old. And with his arrival shifting Diogo Costa back into that central attacking midfield role, it seems his arrival has had a great impact on the Portuguese as well. No goals to Mo Salah's name so far, just the 1 assist in the Premier League. And with the likes of Anthony Gordon, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz all yet to get off the mark in the Premier League as well this season, it suddenly feels like the central part of my team is the strongest and the wide areas of the team are the ones that need improvement. Considering we've already got a huge host of players who can play in those positions and the fact that I only brought Anthony Gordon in back in January, I don't think I need to worry too much right now about bringing in some potential replacements. However, it has got me thinking about what I'm going to do with this 24-year-old Englishman. He really hasn't hit the ground running since joining, yet to get a goal in a Liverpool shirt in now 9 months worth of football. I've got his training and development plan set to be a wide playmaker, so he is due to grow in his overall rating fairly soon. The system that I've currently got set up doesn't really accommodate for a wide playmaker. Instead, the only similar option is a half winger, but to be honest, bearing in mind we've had such a positive start so far to the season, I'm kind of reluctant to change those roles. So if you guys have got any suggestions about how to get the best out of the likes of Anthony Gordon or any of my other wingers at the club, to be precise, let me know once again down in the comments how you would solve the problem. It's not the only problem that I'm needing to solve at the moment though, because with Ibrahima Konate getting a sprained knee, meaning he's going to be out for 4 weeks, the partnership I was hoping he would establish fairly quickly with the new boy Fikayo Tomori suddenly has had to put the brakes on. But it's the answer to our problems staring us in the face, because this man Murillo came in after coming off the bench against Arsenal, started against Manchester City, and along with this man Tomori, after a shaky start against the North London club, helped us to our first clean sheet of the season against the Citizens and helped take us to the top of the Premier League table with an unbeaten 2-game start. And with us still having several more games to get through until Konate reaches full fitness once again, it's a real opportunity for the 2 new boys, especially Murillo, to try and establish himself at the heart of my defence. And that's exactly what they're going to get the chance to do in the very first game of the episode, as we're heading to Selhurst Park to face off against Crystal Palace. And only a couple of changes from the team that beat Manchester City in our last game. Dominic Szoboszlai comes back in the centre of the park, as does Cody Gakpo on the left-hand side to get his first start of the season. There's bad cares for Palace to get us started here. Haraslin over into Murikai, and we're going to hope to try and see if we can right the wrongs from the very last game of the final season, where we bottled it, and we bottled the title right here against Crystal Palace. But it looks like already we've almost gone and given away a really big opportunity here, as the referee lines us up for a free kick. It's one that the former Liverpool man Emre Can looks like he's standing over along with Kamada. Kamada dummies, Emre Can steps up and he just puts it wide. Good start for Palace once again. I've got to really hope that they're not turning into my bogey team here on FC 25 with Liverpool so far, as Murillo driving run through the heart of the defence. Victor Boniface coming deep to collect and get himself involved early doors with his first touch of the game. It's Andy Robertson into Cody Gakpo. Gakpo feeds in Boniface as well. He's such a threat from the edge of the box. Lined up a shot, it was blocked, it's a corner. Well, we know the unbelievable raw power that Victor Boniface possesses, and the goal that he scored against Arsenal was absolutely out of this world, as Diogo Jota tried to head a ball into the back of the net, but he got the header all wrong and it went out of play. All high and wide. It's Matty Cash for Palace. Under pressure here from Szoboszlai's won it well into Cody Gakpo. Gakpo into Victor Boniface. Victor Boniface has time, has space, lines it up again. He's full of confidence, is the young man. We've just got to make sure, though, that he's not going to fall in love with the long shot, because potentially there were some other options available to him there, and he decided to ignore it and go for goal himself. As Palace now bring it forward, Sarr can't get past Andy Robertson. Szoboszlai, though, plays it into Alexis McAllister, and Jota now picks it up in the centre. Plays it into the man to lead the line for me, Victor Boniface. Can't get away from the centre-back, though. Good defending from Palace, and the first time so far this game that he's lost a battle up against the defence, but Alexis McAllister wins the battle and plays it back into that man Victor Boniface. Tries to lay it off into Mo Salah, gets the pass all wrong. Tomori into Boniface. Boniface into Jota. Jota looking for the run of Andy Robertson, finds the run of the left back, throws it into the box, gets a corner for his troubles. And it is that man Robertson who's going to be the one to take this corner here. Flings it in, short, goes to Jota. That option has been so, well, it hasn't been fruitful for us, but it's been an option that we've tried to utilise in all 3 games so far this season. Jota has managed to get his head on it, but he hasn't managed to find a man. And once again, he didn't manage to find the back of the net as it was dispossessed and blocked off. Alexander-Arnold now to the edge of the box, looking to try and see if he can swing one in. He can't, so instead plays it back to Mo Salah. He swings it in. I was looking for Victor Boniface, only out as far as Cody Gakpo. It's been all Liverpool so far in this game, but we've been unable to break down Crystal Palace. Boniface, though, will line it up and drags it wide. Kamada for Palace. Nice little neat passage of play there, but they've gone and given it away, and Dominic Szoboszlai plays it into Diogo Jota, and Jota looks to feed out Mohamed Salah, on the left-hand side. The Egyptian just about manages to keep hold of the ball, looks for Trent. Trent finds Victor Boniface with the head straight at the goalkeeper half-time. Well, we've had chances in the first half of that, there can be no doubt. Once again, they've pretty much all fell to the 24-year-old Nigerian Victor Boniface. This time, he hasn't been so successful in front of goal. Can we make a change to that here in the second half as Trent looks to move the ball forward down the right-hand side, dinks it over into that man, takes it on the chest, and it's a carbon copy of the goal against Manchester City. Once again, he bullies the defenders, takes it on the chest, and absolutely whacks a volley into the bottom left-hand corner. Well, the big man is just so dominant in the box. He gets ahead of the defender, and when he gets into that position, he's not going to miss from there. The slow-mo doesn't do it justice. Absolutely fine finish. The goalkeeper once again had no chance. We lead 1-0. Oh, that's a nice ball out to Haraslin, who plays it into Mirakai. And now he's going to try and see if he can feed in Haraslin. He does. The left winger checks back inside, gives it to the striker, forces Alisson into his first test of the game. Oh, we've given it straight away to Kamada here. Mirakai takes it on from distance once again. Back-to-back strikes, back-to-back saves. Andy Robertson, Boniface into Jota. Jota looking for the run over the top. He finds the run over the top. Can he get there ahead of Emre Can? No, he can't. Good defending. Matty Cash down the line into Sarr. This game starting to ignite here now. Finally, the goal has done something for Crystal Palace to try and tempt them out of their own half here, as Kamada is going to be the man surely to spark that creativity for Palace, but at the moment he's not been able to do so far. It falls to Murillo, and Murillo is almost hacked away there by Haraslin, but he just about managed to dive over the challenge. A few changes here as I look to try and keep the attacking momentum up, but also try and shore up the midfield. Adam Wharton comes on, as does Chiesa and Anthony Gordon, and it is that man Chiesa who will pick it up from a Trent throw. It's Jota. Jota's going to look to try and dink this one over into Victor Boniface. Can the big man get there ahead of Vazquez? Yes, he can. And storms into the penalty area once again. Forces Dean Henderson into a flying save. Emre Can for Palace. Kamada picks it up in space. Adam Wharton tries to hunt him down. Doesn't hunt him down quick enough, though. And that's a lovely ball out to Sarr on the right-hand side. Andy Robertson, though, is equal to it. But Crystal Palace keep the ball alive here. Kamada throws it in. Oh, my word. It was a teasing ball into the box. Alisson had to be big and brave. Unfortunately, he was. Unfortunately, the flag was up. McAllister almost gives it away, but Trent just about manages to win the challenge. Jota feeds it into Chiesa. Chiesa waiting for the run of Victor Boniface. Boniface looking for Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Finds the Englishman, who finds the Italian, and Federico Chiesa from the edge of the box. It's a strike from distance. Henderson had to beat it away, and he did just that. Sarr across on the right-hand side. Oh, that's a lovely little flick down, straight into the path of the striker. But Andy Robertson read the return ball really well, and the left-back tries to clear his lines. But Kamada with a sliding challenge here. About 2 minutes left, plus stoppage time on the clock for us to hold on here. It's back into Mirakai as Tomori comes across, doesn't challenge well enough. Sarr back into the striker. We're doing everything we can to try and hold on to this lead here. Back in they go. Alisson beats it away, only out as far as Haraslin. Trent tries to head that one clear. It's 6s and 7s at the back as the referee blows for full time. Oh, we don't make it easy for ourselves of that, there can be no doubt, but we just about managed to scrape through here. We right the wrongs of the final game of last season. We get our revenge at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. That man once again gets his third goal in as many games as it finishes here 1-0. But after only being able to follow that up with a 1-1 draw at Anfield against Nottingham Forest, we've continued our unbeaten start here in the Premier League, but 2 draws and 2 victories are only enough for 8 points and only enough for 4th spot. But as you can see, it is so tight. The top 6 all level on points. It's anyone's to win this season. But after righting the wrongs against Crystal Palace, it's time to right the wrongs again in the Champions League, as after a shambles last season, we are back in Europe's top competition. But my word, it is not going to be easy, because we are kicking off the first game of our European campaign in Turin against the Italian giants Juventus. And there's only going to be a couple of changes from the team that beat Crystal Palace earlier on. As you can see, Gordon comes in on the left, with me still yet to establish my #1 left winger at the club. But the big news is that fresh off his injury and his return, Konate returns to the starting 11 to partner Tomori at the back. So here we go then, an absolutely titanic clash to kick off our Champions League campaign. The last time we faced a huge team in the Champions League, it was Real Madrid, and we got absolutely battered 3-0 in the Bernabeu. Hopefully this time we can do a little bit better. Dominic Szoboszlai out to Andy Robertson on the left-hand side. Nice short pass into Anthony Gordon, who's come central and feeds in Victor Boniface. And the big man steps up with a wonderful strike, and it's a wonderful save from the goalkeeper. Boniface looking for his 4th goal in all my played games so far this season, and his first in the Champions League, as it's thrown in this time to Dominic Szoboszlai. Couldn't get his head on it. Good start though for Liverpool. Trent into Konate for his first real touch so far in this game, and it's a nice short touch into Andy Robertson, who plays it up the field into Anthony Gordon. Gordon into Szoboszlai. Into Mo Salah. Mo Salah into Trent. Trent back across. Trent with the ball into Boniface, and yet again a big towering header, but the goalkeeper's equal to it. I feel like it's going to be a real ding-dong battle between Victor Boniface and Diego Costa in goal here today. I feel like everything is going to happen between those two, as once again we can't take advantage of that Diogo Jota header down. We've got no one in that space. That is something we have to rectify, because there are goal opportunities that Jota is laying on a plate for us. It's Jack Grealish though, the former Manchester City man, seemingly now plying his trade here in Italy for Juventus. Koopmeiners picks it up for the Italian Giants. Trent tries to come across to challenge his English compatriot here. Cabal back into Jack Grealish on the left-hand side, twisting, weaving away. Can't get away from Trent Alexander-Arnold though. Dominic Szoboszlai once again out to Robertson. Robertson short into Anthony Gordon, but he loses it. Now Juventus can try and see if they can counter quickly. Timothy Weah tries to go past Szoboszlai, does go past Szoboszlai. Can the Hungarian win the ball back? No, he can't. It's flung into the box. This time Trent once again beats Jack Grealish to the ball. Jota short into Mo Salah. Salah into Victor Boniface. Diogo Jota has it once again. Looks for the big man. Has he managed to stay onside? Yes, he has. In the box he goes. And once again, the big man applies the finish. And Liverpool take the lead finally in the Champions League. Look at the delight on my face. What a much better start it is this season than the one from last. Brilliantly played from Diogo Jota and from Victor Boniface. It was laid on a plate. He still had a lot to do, but he smashed it with all that power that he possesses into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Liverpool. Milic now on the left-hand side. Milic, who hasn't really had a touch so far in this game, plays it back into that man Cabal, and Jack Grealish tries to see if he can now beat Trent, but instead he can't beat Alexis McAllister. Jack Grealish getting no luck down that left-hand side so far this game. Szoboszlai. Nice pass into Mo Salah here, who look at the acres of space the Egyptian has, and he's taking it on himself. And my goodness, he saw his name up in lights once again. Doesn't want to be outdone by Victor Boniface. But Diogo Costa is having an absolutely sensational game. Trent's going to be the man to take the corner. Flings it in. Looks for the big man Konate on his return. Looking for a goal. Couldn't quite find one though. Anthony Gordon back out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got space to try and fling a ball in. Does fling a ball into Dominic Szoboszlai. It was a powerful header, but straight down the pipe. Flings it over to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's in space, and nods it down into Mo Salah here. Salah plays it into Victor Boniface on the edge of the box. Tried to take the shot on. It was well blocked off. Jack Grealish. Nice pass into Fagioli in the centre. Koopmeiners also picks it up for Juventus here. Just going nowhere fast as Dominic Szoboszlai wins the ball back really well. The Hungarian driving forward. The Hungarian looking for the ball into Victor Boniface. I thought Locatelli had done a wonderful job of winning the ball back, but it seems like he's given away a free kick, and it's one that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to see if he can be the man to take advantage of here. As you well know, on all of the previous games, free kicks are not my speciality, but it looks like I may have just found the net. And no, I haven't, unfortunately. Couldn't lift it over the wall, and eventually Juventus just about managed to clear their lines. Andy Robertson into Gordon. Gordon short into Boniface. Boniface tries to lay it off, does lay it off into Mo Salah. What a lovely piece of play once again, but the goalkeeper's on fire. Speaking of fire, Juventus are playing with fire at the back here, and they get that all wrong. Absolutely relentless pressure from Liverpool at the moment. We've been the better team by a country mile as Anthony Gordon flings it across into Andy Robertson. Going to look to try and cross it into this man, Victor Boniface, who just nods his head over the bar. And the bench and myself cannot quite believe it. It was laid on a plate for him, and you would have bet the house on the big man scoring. Molina for Juventus, once again under pressure, and has no choice but to go backwards to Akanji, another former Manchester City man plying his trade in Italy. Nods it forward, but once again my defence get there first, but it's fallen out to Timothy Weah on the right hand side. Koopmeiners, this is the first chance for Juventus here. Milic though is blocked off by Konate. My defence coming to my rescue. Alexis McAllister Out to Trent on the right-hand side. Trent brings it forward, looks for the runner. Mo Salah finds the runner, the Egyptian. Mo Salah, though, can't go past the centre-back. Cabral can't go past Mo Salah, though, and the Egyptian wins the ball back in a good position, plays it into Jota, into Gordon. Gordon from the edge of the box. Keeper saves yet again. And with fatigue starting to set in, I'm making a triple change once again. Wharton and Diaz come on, as does Murillo. The tired legs of Konate on its return, needing to be subbed off. Kanji for Juventus once again. We've got a 1-0 lead here, but it's a 1-0 lead that is teetering on the edge as Juventus now, with about 5 minutes plus stoppage time left, trying to see if they can work their way into my half here and work their way into the penalty area as Timothy Ware has managed to work some space on the right-hand side, flings it in for Milic. It was a tame header in the end, but it's pretty much been their best chance of the game. But not only was it their best chance of the game, it was their last chance of the game because the referee calls time and finally we have a win in the Champions League. A much better way to start our campaign. What a difference this man has made. Liverpool win the tie. 1-0. Well, I can do absolutely nothing but totally celebrate the performances of Victor Boniface, not just today, but in all competitions so far. He's been absolutely instrumental to our success since he joined the club. But it's not just how important his performances have been, it's the fact that he's allowed other players in the team, the likes of Diogo Jota, and also some of my other attacking players to really flourish playing in behind him. Speaking of other players though, one thing that I actually haven't done, which hasn't lived up to the promise that I wanted to make at the very beginning of this season, is to try and invest a little bit more in some of the younger players that we have at the club. Which leads me on very nicely to my youth academy. As you can see, we've got absolutely nothing going from us, and it means that we're going to have to try and see if we can hire a couple of extra scouts to try and cast the net out across the world to try and see if we can find some of the best young talent on the market. With some of the best scouts at my disposal now hired, let's see what we can do to find the best young talent. As you can see, there has been quite a lot of change here on FC24 and so many different areas that we can send players to, but I'm obviously going to be starting out in England, and with Steven Gerrard being such a pivotal player in the heart of the midfield, it is of course a Steven Gerrard potential replacement that I'm going to be looking for. And with Mo Salah being such a superstar, but potentially starting to age and come towards the end of his time here at Liverpool Football Club, it's only natural that I'm going to want to find a long-term replacement for him as well. And finally, with me looking at more attacking players, I think it's only right that I try and find some other defensive players as well. And if we're looking at defence, there is no better place to go than the defensive capital of the world, that is Italy. As you can see, I've got England, I've got Egypt, and I've got Italy. Let's see what these scouts can bring back for me. But after once again drawing 1-1 in the Premier League and managing to just about scrape through on penalties away from home against Preston in the Carabao Cup, we're going to be heading to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to face off against Spurs in our very final game of the episode. And as you can see, this is how we're going to be lining up. Konate keeps his place at the back. Adam Morton comes back in the centre, as does Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. Once again, this is going to be another big test against one of the biggest teams in the Premier League, but already I can see there's some change to the Spurs starting 11 because Casemiro, I don't know if any of you noticed, is now playing in the centre of the park. United have managed to get rid of him, and he's landed at Spurs, and my goodness, what a turnaround for the books that is, as Luis Diaz looks to try and see if he can turn into the defence here, looks to play it into Victor Boniface, who takes it on his right, looks to line it up, and just puts it high and wide. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold now into Adam Morton. It's been a good start so far here for Liverpool, as Spurs try to intercept with that man Casemiro, but it falls kindly, and Robertson picks it up into Luis Diaz, looks to spray it forward into Victor Boniface. Once again, the big man takes it on, and once again he strikes from distance, and once again the goalkeeper is equal to it. Corner though, 15 minutes on the clock. A brilliant start so far at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Liverpool. Flung in, looking for Tomori, looks to get his head on it. Konate gets his head on it, but in the end it's looped over the bar. Gray whacks that one forward, but Tomori wins it well in the air and plays it now into Victor Boniface. Boniface looks for the ball into Mo Salah. He finds Mo Salah. This is the Egyptian's first chance to try and score this season. Once again, it's a wonderful save from the goalkeeper. It's been all Liverpool so far in this game. We've absolutely peppered the Spurs goal, but so far we cannot seem to find the back of the net here as Spurs finally managed to make their first foray into our half here. Heung-min Son bearing down on goal, manages to bear past Adam Morton, continues into the box he goes, forces Alisson into his first save of the game. And it's Dejan Kulusevski who's going to take the corner, flings it in. It's a really good one, but it's an even better header away from Konate. Jamie Donnelly out to Heung-min Son, and it's Christian Romero, the centre-back, who drags his shot wide. 30 minutes on the clock, and it's the first chance that Spurs really had to test our goal, and they did test it, but fortunately enough for me, we managed to hold firm. Victor Boniface once again picks it up and is once again looking for runs here, but can't quite find any and has to go and give the ball away. Kulusevski, Spurs seem to have now upped the ante here as Archie Gray tries to see if he can find his way down the right-hand side. Donnelly, though, picks it up in the centre. Pat Matassar plays it short into Estupinian. The left-backs come central. Amad Diallo back into Estupinian. Across now to Casemiro in space. Looking to try and see if he can play the ball forward. Instead goes back out wide to Archie Gray. Lovely little flick into the path to Kulusevski. Really good play here from Spurs. The Swede into the box. Finds Heung-min Son, who finds the back of the net. That is absolutely wonderful. But to the Liverpool fans' delight and to the frustration of the Spurs fans and players, it is ruled out for offside, and it's harsh for Spurs because it was an absolutely wonderful passage of play. McAllister into Mo Salah. Mo Salah, lovely defence-splitting pass into Trent. Is this going to be the final chance of the game here? The right back looks to try and see if he can fling it into Victor Boniface. He does, but it's headed away and cleared by the Spurs defenders. We begin the second half 0-0, but once again, it doesn't really tell the full story. I feel like we dominated the first half of the first half, and Spurs seem to dominate the second half of the first half here. Which of the two teams are going to be the first to break the deadlock here in the second 45? Spurs have started out the better of the two, though, and they've started in control, and that's a lovely ball through from Donnelly into Heung-min Son, who's leading the line, but Tomori, the former Chelsea man, who I'm sure will be absolutely desperate to put in a good performance against their arch rival here today, pulls off a wonderful challenge, and Mo Salah pulls the ball forward, looking for the run upon his face. He just can't get there ahead of the goalkeeper. Estupinian playing that inverted fullback role, tries to nod it forward, but it is nodded down by the Liverpool defence. McAllister now has time to pick his spot and picks a wonderful pass into Mo Salah. The Egyptian tries to play it into Boniface. It was well blocked off, though, by Mickey van der Ven. We keep the attack alive here with Mo Salah. Plays it into Trent. Trent looks to play it across into that man Boniface. It's cleared away though by Romero. Archie Gray blocked off by Andy Robertson here. Liverpool starting to press high. I'm waiting for Boniface to make the run. He does make the run into the box and just drags his header wide. I need some more attacking impetus into this game, so Salah, Diaz and Walton will go off. Gordon, Gakpo and Szoboszlai will come on. Let's see what they can do. 15 minutes left plus stoppage time on the clock. So far, neither of these two teams able to break the deadlock. I can be assured that we've had the better of the chances so far in the second half, but once again, we haven't been able to take them as Lucas Bergvall, on as a substitute, tries to see if he can go past Konate, but the Frenchman stands firm and gives it to McAllister, who's going to look to try and see if he can play a diagonal across to Anthony Gordon. He does. The Englishman plays it into Jota into Victor Boniface, doesn't have any support, waiting for the run of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's just straight offside. I feel like waiting for the run is a phrase that I'm consistently using across every single episode so far here on FC24. I'm definitely still having problems, even though I have adjusted the sliders, that the attacks just aren't quite working, and it's not as cohesive as it was on FC24, but Spurs' attack looks like it's very cohesive as Heung-min Son, 88 minutes on the clock, finds the back of the net, and it's heartbreak for Liverpool here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In my efforts to try and bring my attacking players forward, we left gaps at the back, and Spurs fans and players alike are absolutely ecstatic because we fell asleep at the back, and Heung-min Son is the one man in the box you do not want the ball to fall to. Alisson tried to rush out to put him off, but it wasn't enough. The South Korean had too much composure. A wonderful finish, 1-0 Spurs. And it's an absolutely gut-wrenching way to finish off what I thought was a very positive episode so far. Heung-min Son is the man that did the damage. His one goal separates the two teams. It finishes here, 1-0 Spurs. We can take positives in the fact that we got our first win in the Champions League, finally. But with that loss against Spurs dropping us down into 8th place, with just 2 wins and 3 draws in our opening 6 games, we've got a lot of work to do if we want to try and challenge for the title. That is going to be that for the end of today's episode, though. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.